pretty simple question to start us out would be, what are aesthetics? Well, the Oxford Dictionary defines it as a set of principles concerned with the nature and appreciation of beauty, especially in art, and a branch of philosophy that deals with the principles of beauty and artistic taste. Well, what is this aesthetic appreciation or taste? From a sociological point of view, taste is pretty intimately related with power. We value things on an aesthetic scale, most often based on their material value. The beauty of a chain isn't really that we like the pattern of a chain. It comes from the value of its gold. And where does the aesthetic value of art come from? Paint is not a material strictly for the wealthy. And in an art museum, which is basically the institution of good taste, you can't buy anything. Yet we still attribute aesthetic value to objects. In the museum, you look at objects on pedestals under special lighting that alludes to their value. So clearly the context of the museum itself gives the art its value, not the material cost of the art. After all, compared to gold, there isn't much material value in pigments. This visual pleasure we draw from the art, supposedly detached from material desire, gives us the feeling that the aesthetic value of the art is pure or divine in of itself. But in the end, this is really an illusion. Yes, the museum itself provides the context for us viewing the art, but someone has to decide what goes into the museum. Someone gets to decide what is pure. We all know what we'd expect to find in an art museum. White marble statues and good old European oil paintings, which for most of Western history are the mediums of art enjoyed by those with power and wealth. Though oil paint and sculpting tools are widely available now, they weren't always. So from a historical perspective, good taste is the aesthetics of the wealthy. So the next question to ask would be, what is bad taste? What doesn't make it in museums? What isn't considered pure? Well, Jo Weldon has a good answer for us. In her essay, Who Decides What's Tacky Anyways?, Weldon says that bad taste is likely to be feminine, ethnic, queer, deviant, not manly, not practical, not businesslike, and not serious. And this makes sense, right? We wouldn't expect to find Tom of Finland's art in the Louvre, despite knowing we could find art that is equally explicit, if not more explicit than it, just depicting a different variety of explicitness. So clearly this intrinsically pure value of good art comes from those that it's associated with, those in power, or at least those historically in power. But I hear you ask, can't we all have good taste? Of course, but it's really just conforming to the taste of those in power. If you think back to Marx's cultural hegemony, where the beliefs, values, perceptions, and norms of a diverse society are controlled and manipulated by the ruling class, it even served a similar function in the past, as Sarah Tamlis described in her blog how Europe's ruling elite used opulence as an ideological weapon to befuddle the lower classes with glimpses of heaven on earth. A lifestyle so foreign and unattainable that could only be the result of divination. It is this spell of opulence that led to our current definition of glamour, which is more associated with wealth than magic. The difference between then and now is that today's good taste or glamour serves more as the fantasy of wealth than the actual real ownership of it. This makes glamour serve as a good ideological weapon, allowing people to soothe themselves in their poor condition. Disadvantaged people can have the aesthetics of wealth without actually changing their material conditions. Tara puts it better than me. The promise of the pop glam diva is not the promise of social transformation, but individual transformation, in which the exploited becomes the exploited. It is the promise of an individual's class mobility, not social betterment or class critique. It is by and large the American dream. This fantasy is based on envy. The envy of those with the wealth to truly have good taste, and those with poor material conditions who wish to someday be envied too. As art critic and historian John Berger puts it, the happiness of being envied is glamour. Being envied is a solitary form of reassurance. It depends precisely upon not sharing your experience with those who envy you. So, good taste, aesthetic beauty, and glamour are all intrinsically tied to what makes you enviable. And there's nothing that makes you more enviable than power.